Stop the virtue signaling. Stop the I'm the better person, the other one. They can't see a good deal when it's staring them in the face. I've got a crazy video for you today.
She's not yours, it's just your turn. A woman should be a complement to your life, not the focus.
Do the work.
Women do not care about your struggles. They hang out at the finish line and they pick the winners.
All right, what is up, my brothers from another mother? This is a requested video from a woman this time, asking for some advice on getting divorced properly, if you will. So to some degree, in some context, in Bill Burr's voice, this is for the ladies. Gentlemen, let's hop right into this. There's some confusion actually with this one, and there's three really important things that I want to deal with that I'm going to hold off towards the end to kind of clarify. But what I want to do is I want to frame it from her perspective. I posted this on the community tab of the YouTube channel, it looks like 4 days ago now, and there's lots of feedback. There's over 582 comments. So I'm going to just, reveal a little bit of that in a tiny bit. But let me read her request to explain what clarity is that she's looking for in this divorce and offer some valuable feedback and at least talk about three things as well that are sitting in the blind spot on this one. So she says, I'm requesting a video because my husband and I are on the way towards divorce. It's been a toxic environment for at least 2 years, probably 3, and I finally filed for a separation despite my desire to work things out. My question is really, what do you guys recommend for an arrangement to separate that you actually think is fair? After watching many videos, I haven't really seen a good guide for how to get out of it in an amicable way. I have been a stay-at-home mom for 9 years and I need time to get on my feet. We also have 2 beautiful kids and I'd love to minimize the damage to them. For a frame, when I ask for these submissions, they also give me their social links. I'm not going to reveal identities, obviously, but the kids are relatively young. It looks like both of them are under the age of 11. If I were to guess, probably about 8 and 11 or something like that. I propose giving up alimony. Now, this is where it gets interesting. I propose giving up alimony, the 401k, and musical equipment. Best I can gather from the social links that I got, it looks like Mr. Is in a band. So he would be a musician of some sort. I'm guessing it's probably his primary practice. I didn't see much else there. But she's talking about passing up on alimony, 401k retirement, and musical equipment that she'd get in a traditional divorce in exchange for keeping home for several more years while the kids adjust and I figure out my career path. He works far away, so would only be home on weekends, at which times I would leave and spend evenings elsewhere, so he would have the house to himself. Now, this might seem reasonable at first, but I'm going to explain why it's not at the end. He seems to have been, he seems to still have been very stern on the idea that if he had the responsibility for paying for the house, he must have authority over the house, meaning my name can't be on the house. I can't sign away my rights to the house in addition to what I'm already giving up. That would mean that he could decide to sell it at any point without my authorization, and that would simply be irresponsible of me because I need to take care of my children. Do people truly believe that women should be left to survive with nothing in case that there is a divorce? I don't believe any person believes that. I'm going to add some more feedback in a minute, so let's just finish this off. So it seems that because of listening to your philosophy and that of Rollo Tomassi and others, my husband doesn't seem to know when there's a good deal staring at him in the face. So now I'm taking some blame here because I talk to guys about making themselves their own mental point of origin and making better choices in life. And I suspect he's a guy that watches my videos, but strangely, he doesn't book a call or make the request to talk to me. She reached out to me, so it's a little more frame. So she reached out to me on the Clarity platform to book a call, indicated that she was a stay-at-home mom and couldn't afford to book a call, tried to negotiate a deal. I don't negotiate. My rate's fixed if I'm doing one-on-one coaching on the phone. So I offered for her with the link. I said, make a written request and I'll do a video on it. And in that sense, they also get feedback from you guys as well to get some more frame around it. So anyway, so apparently this is the fault of myself and Rollo Tomassi that he doesn't see a good deal when it's staring him in the face. There's more to this story. I've been trying to negotiate for 6 months, and at this point I feel pushed to go to court because I can't stay in limbo forever. But then me going to court would just confirm all the biases that he already has. Don't know why I care. The vast majority of women that would have been done with this, but I was hoping you could help. Now, before I feedback on those 3 points that I really wanted to hit on, there's a lot of comments on this. You guys can go check it out. There's a community tab on the top of my YouTube channel if you're looking on a browser. Or it actually works on mobile devices too, so just look for community on any of those tabs. And you'll see the feedback and read it if you want. You can even chime in over there or in the, below the video here. But a lot of guys are like, seems like a decent person. This person says her stance is going to change if she gets a lawyer. This guy also says it seems like it's very reasonable. This chick over here says something doesn't add up here. If the environment was toxic for 2 years, what caused that? And of course, she's looking for some more clarity. It's a fair question request. I hope more women adopt this attitude. I'm going to tell you right now, guys, this is not as pretty as it looks. This is a pig with lipstick and makeup on it. It is not a pretty thing. It is still a pig, and I'm going to explain why in a minute. This guy says it was a trap. Anyway, I'll deal with that part of the request. Let's get her husband on the channel. This guy says there was one guy here that caught on to it. I think it was Frank. Here we go. This guy here says she wants the house because that's worth more than his band equipment and his small little pension. And there it is, fellas. So again, this is only one side of the story. Let's deal with the term solipsism, just so we get some clarity. Defined, solipsism is the view or theory that the self is all that can be known to exist. Okay, so we're clear on that. So when I talk about things like solipsism and hypergamy, these are the baseline behaviors with women. Everything within family law is written there to facilitate hypergamy. It's there to make sure that she can get the best deal possible. And women are, generally speaking, more solipsistic than men in general. So the thing that's being missed here, and the first thing that I need to say is what is the most important is what is in the best interest of the kids, not is what she cares about, not what he cares about. At the end of the day, when it comes to divorce, what is in the best interest of the kids is access, equal access to both parents. That should be default. That should be written into law around the world. There should be none of this bull crap where you've got to fight to have access to your kids as a man. Still in this day, women are getting 80-85% of custody orders awarded to them. Or generally speaking, men give up their rights just to say, I just need to get out of this insanity, and they'll kind of pass on and move that way. So that is not great for kids. We haven't seen a lot in the way of stats because not many children are raised by single fathers. Most single-parent households today where children are raised entirely in single-parent households, meaning there's no father present whatsoever. I think the number is something like 43%. It's quite high now. It's definitely in the low 40%. And then when it comes to divorce, women are also getting most of the custody arrangements. So by a wide and far margin, women are doing most of the child rearing years. And they like to pat themselves on the back, especially on Father's Day. You'll see them on social media and they'll talk about how, they do the job of both the father and the mother and blah, blah, blah. But the reality of it all is the stats indicate that women don't do a very good job at it. Vast majority of teenage gang activity, teenage pregnancy, poor grades in school, suicide attempts, vast majority of the incarcerated. I can go all the way down the list and get all the stats for you. It's broken down in a chapter in my book, actually, but that's all done, and it all comes from a single mother household. So women don't do the greatest job. And I'm not saying that they don't do a great job or they don't do a good job, but they don't seem, or the statistics don't seem to indicate that they are great at being a single parent. Children need fathers. They need access to their fathers. They need boundaries enforced. Ideally, you want to do that with both parents under the same roof, but hey, things don't always work out. We're dealing with divorce, so let's deal with what's in the best interest of the kids, and what is in the best interest of the kids is access to both parents. I don't know what his story is. I don't know if he wants 50% access, if he wants to share custody. I don't know if he wants to tour around the world and try to get his band off the ground. From what I can gather from the social links, it's not a well-known band. Like we're not dealing with the Rolling Stones here. There's a reason why that guy Frank picked up on the notion that she doesn't want anything else but the house, because the house is the only thing of any value, and that ties into solipsism and hypergamy. Okay, I don't have all the details here, so there's a little bit of speculating going on. So just roll with me on this. But my guess as well, which I also noticed too, is women don't typically pass up on something that's useful to them, especially in divorce, and especially when family law is written in such a way that it preserves and protects her interests and allows her to facilitate her hypergamous nature. So I don't see a lot of benefit here for the kids doing it this way. Again, if he's touring and trying to get off the ground, that's fine, but you said that he would come back on the weekends, and I don't have a lot of experience. I'm not very musically inclined. My grandfather on my mom's side was great. He was a fantastic musician. So I have a couple of family members on that side that were great musicians as well. And I have an uncle who played music for quite a few years. He did Vegas and a bunch of other stuff. And I always noticed that he was away on weekends, not on weekdays. So I'm not quite sure what this guy does, where he's away during the weekdays, but only available on the weekends, which is bizarre to me. So I'm not really sure what to do with that. But either way, what's in the best interest of the kids is equal access to both parents. And that's what you should both strive for. Some guys don't want that. You know, I get it. There's some guys who'll say, I just don't want to deal with it. Let her take care of the child rearing. That's fine. But whatever. I mean, that's your choice. You want to let your kids get screwed up. That's entirely up to you guys, right? Hey guys, I just realized I needed to add something to this point in the video after talking about the custody arrangement as I'm editing it. So I want to talk about assets. The way that assets, generally speaking, work when it comes to family law is you throw them in a pile, you split them down the middle, and then you just part them up and give them to mom and dad, and you go your separate ways. The only time that that doesn't happen is if you have a prenuptial agreement that protects that, and it's been updated throughout the course of the marriage if you've been married for a long time. So generally speaking, a mother who's been a stay-at-home mom for, let's say, 10 or 11 years or something like that, a prenup would be practically useless. So just keep in mind that when it comes to the custody arrangement, that's one issue. The other issue, again, has to deal with the assets. And likely, again, the reason why she's selecting the home over the 401k, alimony, and pensions, because that has no value, and the home probably has higher value. At the end of the day, throw it in a pile, split it down the middle, split it up. The argument of keeping the house to make it easy for the kids, I don't buy that. You can sell the house and liquidate the assets and then move to another home that is probably smaller, and dad can keep another home. That would be the way that I'd recommend that you do it. I don't like the structure that you're presenting here, where he just, foregoes a home and gets to keep his gets to keep alimony payments and pension. It just doesn't seem to add up from that sense. Second point that I need to clarify here is you can't contract out of family law. So even though she's saying right now, just give me the house and I will let you come by on the weekends and I'll leave and go somewhere else. And you can just do whatever you want with the kids and then leave on, Monday morning or Sunday night, and I'll take over the house again and we won't interrupt their lives. That might sound like a pretty easy plan. And a lot of you guys fed back in the comments were like, well, it seems like a pretty good deal. She seems like a reasonable woman. We need more women like that. Here's the problem with it though. You can't, contract out of family law. So he might actually give up the rights to the title in the house. And they live in a place that I'm not familiar with what the legal system says. But on a balance of probabilities, from my experience talking to men and with some legal professionals that deal with family law, my understanding, especially in California where they live, is it's quite hostile towards men. So generally speaking, you can't contract out of it. And what that means is, let's say you get divorced, you go your separate ways, and you agree to she agrees to take the house in exchange for no alimony, no pension, no 401, banned equipment, whatever it is that she's attempting to forego, to virtue signaling that she's letting go of. But if 2 years down the road she changes her mind, she can reopen the case and bring it to court and get exactly what she wants. It doesn't matter if they sign anything outside of that. There's many parts of law that you guys need to understand that you can't contract out of. Like, I as an employer cannot contract a employee out of the Labor Standards Act here in Canada. And if I hire somebody and get them to sign shit in a non-compete, for example, that's not enforceable, and even if they sign it and I don't, I try to enforce it, but they take it to the labor board, for example, or they have a labor relations lawyer take care of it. Even though they sign a contract that would technically be legally binding on both parties, you can't contract out of certain parts of law, family law, labor law, I think rental agreements for residential space. So there's a bunch of stuff that you got to look at for yourself. So before you do anything with family law, don't think for a second, guys, just because she might seem like a reasonable person and says, just give me the house, move out, and I won't take your money later on down the road. If something changes for her later on down the road and she needs that money, I would not be surprised if she went for it. Okay. So you definitely don't want to do anything that can come back and bite you in the ass later on down the road. If you sign any kind of agreement with each other, you should have independent legal advice, meaning, dad has his own family lawyer that advises him based on what the contract says, and mom has her own family lawyer, and that lawyer advises her based on what the contract says. You all initial the pages and sign, everything's tickety-boo, and it complies with family law in your area. You should always hire a lawyer to get legal advice. I'm not a lawyer. What I'm doing is I'm just talking from altitude and looking down on the horizon. So you can't contract out of family law. Understand that, both of you that are watching this right now, because I'm assuming both mom and dad are watching this. And that's it, really. I covered all the main points because I was talking about solipsism and hypergamy. So guys, do what's right for the kids and make sure they have good and equal access to the parents. Stop the virtue signaling, stop the I'm the better person, the other one, they can't see a good deal when it's staring them in the face and blah, 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 and all that sort of thing. And what's in the best interest of the kids is access to both parents. So with that being said, we'll wrap this up real quick. If you guys want to do a request like this, on the top right of the screen, so you can see it here, so it'll be easier. On the top right of the screen, I'll put a card up for the request tab of my website. It's also pinned in the top description of all my videos. So if there's something you're stuck on that you want to see me make a video on, you'll click through, you'll land on this page. It's a paid request. It's a sponsored video. It tells you exactly what to do. You hit the PayPal, name, email, goes to the next page. You submit all your information, give me some social links. I keep it all private for you. And it's really as simple as that. I've actually lowered the price on this significantly. I used to do these for a lot more. I was even thinking, somebody was telling me I should build another channel and just do response requests to topics like this exclusively. So we'll see if the interest is there for that. If you want to request a video, that's how you do it. And pinned in the top comments, check out some of the useful links that I've got there, community, one-on-one coaching, any one of those things I'm available for. I really hope this helps, guys. If you have any additional feedback beyond what I've just covered here, leave a comment below in this video and let this lady know what you think. And really, I hope both of you guys do what's right for the kids at the end of the day, because anything beyond that is just selfish and it doesn't serve them in a long-term basis. And I've already told you guys why. Anyway, see you guys in the next video. Peace.